Welcome to Stories I Know. If you crave tales of passion, secrecy, and unrestrained emotions, then don't hesitate to subscribe now. Be sure to like, comment, and share. I assure you, this one will take your breath away. After years of denying myself the pleasures of intimacy, never did I imagine I would be in this predicament, yearning for a man significantly younger than myself, longing for his touch as if I were a woman deprived of affection. Yet, after a decade of solitary nights, after countless evenings filled solely with my own touch and unquenched desires, I found myself unraveling. And then he entered my world. Robert, the closest companion of my son. Statuesque. Powerful. The type of young man who turned heads and captured attention effortlessly. His physique was nothing short of a masterpiece, with broad shoulders, sculpted arms, and abs that beckoned for attention each time he lifted his shirt to wipe away the sweat. Initially, it was merely a fleeting sense of admiration. Yet, as the weeks unfolded, a stirring within me began to awaken. A yearning desire. The initial allure. It unfolded on a sun-drenched summer afternoon. With my son away on a weekend adventure, Robert found himself alone in our home. Just as I stepped out of the shower, enveloped in the luxurious embrace of a silk robe, a gentle knock echoed through my bedroom door. "Madam Carter? It seems that the air conditioning unit is not functioning properly. Would it be all right if I borrowed a fan for a moment?" I paused, contemplating my next move. My heart raced with anticipation. "Please, come in," I beckoned, my tone more gentle than I had meant it to be. Robert entered the room, his shirt adhering to his damp skin, his intense dark eyes meeting mine with an undeniable connection. In that fleeting moment, I experienced it profoundly. The exhilarating spark. The desire that lingers in silence. His eyes darted to the slight opening of my robe, where the gentle curve of my thigh was only just hidden. I ought to have secured it more firmly. I ought to have dismissed him. However, I chose not to. Instead, I rested against the dresser, allowing the silk to cascade a bit more down my shoulder. The heat of the day enveloped us, and I couldn't help but notice the way his throat moved as he swallowed, a subtle yet captivating gesture. Robert released a breath that trembled with uncertainty. Absolutely steamy. The atmosphere surrounding us was heavy, electric, and fraught with tension. His hands tightened into fists at his sides. He was resisting it, engaging in a battle against me. And I adored it. The instant when everything transformed. He moved in closer. Just enough for me to catch the scent of his sweat, his cologne, his longing. I gazed up at him, my body yearning for something tantalizingly off-limits. "Robert," I murmured, my fingers gliding softly along his arm, savoring the warmth of his skin beneath my touch. "Please, there's no need for you to leave just now." His breath caught in his throat. His jaw clenched with intensity. "Mrs. Carter," he murmured, his voice thick with emotion. It would be unwise for us to proceed. Yet, his physique conveyed an entirely contrasting narrative. As I leaned in, my lips mere inches from his, I realized this was a moment I could never reclaim. The temperature is set to rise significantly. The moment when everything changes forever. Robert's breath came in ragged gasps, his chest heaving as if he were engaged in a fierce battle within. "Mrs. Carter," his voice was low and raspy, his fingers trembling as if they longed to reach out to me but were restrained by an invisible force. The pause stirred something within me. I edged even nearer, the delicate fabric of my silk robe cascading down, revealing the soft contour of my bare shoulder. "Say my name," I whispered, my lips tantalizingly close to his. His jaw tightened with unspoken tension. His gaze was intense, smoldering, brimming with desire. "Lisa," he finally exhaled, his voice a soft whisper filled with longing. That was the moment. That was the pivotal moment. I lifted my hand, tracing my fingers over the defined contours of his abdomen, sensing the tautness beneath my caress. His body ignited with an intense heat. He inhaled sharply, his muscles tensing beneath my touch. I felt his words falter as I traced a slow, teasing line down his chest. "Robert," I whispered, tilting my head ever so slightly. "Are you interested in this?" His hands formed tight fists at his sides, his body rigid as if he were restraining himself from an overwhelming urge. But then, as if a dam had broken, his resolve crumbled away. With a low growl, his hands encircled my waist, drawing me closer to his firm, powerful physique. His warmth enveloped me, leaving me utterly undone. My heart raced within my chest as his lips lingered tantalizingly close to mine, his breath warm and inviting, his body taut with unspoken desire. "I've desired you for an eternity," he confessed, his voice heavy with longing. A breath caught in my throat as his fingers finally made contact, truly connecting with me. His fingers glided up my thigh, parting the silk with a confident touch, his grip both firm and possessive. "Robert," my voice trembled with longing. At last, his lips met mine with an electrifying intensity. The kiss was fervent, yearning, untamed. I wove my fingers through his luxurious, dark locks, drawing him nearer as I pressed my body against his with an undeniable urgency. His hands roamed over me, asserting their presence as if he had been yearning for this moment all along. I sighed softly against his lips, leaning into him, craving deeper connection. His breath caught in his throat. This is not the right course of action for us. Yet his hands, defying his intentions, continued their relentless movement. Nor did I. For the first time in a decade of solitude, I truly felt a spark of life within me. The dawn following the night before. At least, that was my assumption. I awoke with a rush of exhilaration, my skin alive with the lingering sensation of his caress. The essence of him remained on my lips, my body yearning for more. As I extended my limbs, yearning for the comforting embrace of the man who had ignited my very essence, a stark realization washed over me. The bed lay desolate. Robert had left the scene. For a fleeting moment, I found myself lying there, heart racing, as I relived each tantalizing moment of the previous night. The way his hands had roamed over my skin, the way his lips had captured mine, the way he had adored my body as if he had been longing for this moment for an eternity. Yet, as the morning light broke through, the weight of reality settled upon me. What had we created? The irresistible allure makes its comeback. Just as I was on the verge of slipping out of bed, a sound caught my attention. My breath hitched in my throat. Soft footsteps echoed in the stillness. As the bedroom door slowly creaked open, a sense of anticipation filled the air. Robert stood there, his shirt absent, beads of sweat shimmering on his sculpted chest, his deep, dark eyes fixed intently on mine. "I went for a run," he murmured, his voice deep and alluring. I needed a moment to gather my thoughts. I swallowed, warmth blossoming within me at the sight of his commanding physique. Was it successful? I inquired, my tone gentler than I had meant it to be. He let out a sharp breath as he entered, gently shutting the door behind him. Absolutely not. Before I could fully process the moment, he was upon me once more, his hands firmly clasping my waist as his lips collided with mine in a fervent embrace. Succumbing to the chaos, I gasped as he pressed me against the wall, our bodies entwined, the heat between us flaring to life once again. "I can't stop thinking about you," he confessed, his breath warm against my skin. "Assure me that you hold no regrets." Remorse? I truly wish I had embarked on this journey earlier. My fingers glided over the sculpted contours of his chest, while my lips playfully brushed against his jawline. I hold no regrets for any moment that has passed. His hold grew firmer, the reins of his composure beginning to unravel. Excellent. Because my story with you is far from over. And just like that, we surrendered once more, this time, without a trace of doubt. His kiss ignited a blaze within me. His hands, both rugged and gentle, gripped my hips as he pushed me against the wall, his body melding with mine in a fervent embrace that echoed my own longing. I could sense every heartbeat of his, the evidence of his longing radiating through the fabric of his jeans. "Tell me to stop," he rasped against my lips, his voice thick with desire. However, I chose not to. I entwined my fingers in his hair, drawing him nearer, as our tongues met in a languorous, tantalizing embrace. His groan resonated within me, sending a delightful shiver cascading down my spine. "Lisa," the way my name lingered on his lips felt like both a prayer and a curse. I guided him to my bedroom, my heart racing with anticipation. As the door clicked shut, his hands roamed freely, skillfully removing my garments, exploring the contours I had kept hidden from the world. However, Robert? He adored me. "You're incredibly beautiful," he breathed, his mouth trailing down my neck, my collarbone, lower. I inhaled sharply as he enveloped me, my body instinctively arching off the bed. His tongue was unyielding, playful, unraveling me in ways my former husband never could. "Robert, a star," I gasped, my fingers clutching the sheets tightly. He persisted relentlessly. Not until I was quivering, pleading, my legs trembling around his shoulders. With a mischievous smile, he delivered exactly what I craved, enveloping me entirely, flawlessly, until I found myself whispering his name into the shadows. We intertwined, driven by urgency and passion, the bed groaning under our fervent movements. Each movement was a revelation, every sigh a transgression. As I unraveled beneath him, and he succumbed to the moment with a deep groan, a profound understanding washed over me. There was no turning back now. Dialogue bubble, what do you believe unfolds next, dear reader? Will their secret be unveiled, asterisk? Will they be able to resist the magnetic pull between them? Will guilt ultimately drive them apart, asterisk? Share your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. And be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications for more tantalizing tales, asterisk asterisk. Forbidding passion ignites like never before, asterisk asterisk. 1 year later, asterisk asterisk. On a Tuesday, the letter made its entrance. Dear Mrs. Carter, we must convey that your son, Thomas, has officially retracted his consent for any communication, asterisk. I found no necessity to complete the reading. The embossed university letter spoke volumes. My fingers quivered as I placed the paper on the kitchen counter, the very spot where Robert had first kissed me, where we had ventured into a territory that could never be undone. A gentle hand rested on my shoulder. "Hello." Robert's voice resonated with a newfound depth, exuding a steady confidence. The young man I had fallen for had transformed into a captivating figure during these precious, stolen months. "Are you all right?" I melted into his embrace, inhaling the comforting aroma of wood smoke mingled with the unmistakable hint of that inexpensive cologne he stubbornly clung to. He transferred to a different school, Robert. Throughout the nation. Due to our connection. The truth lingered between us, an uninvited guest in our intimate space. Robert's embrace grew more intense, enveloping me completely. "I understand. 3 months have passed since that unforgettable first night. Your actions are truly repulsive to me. Asterisk." Thomas's voice broke, reminiscent of a time when he was just 15, not yet the 19-year-old he had become. The duffel bag resting at his feet was meticulously packed, ready for the journey ahead. Highlight my closest companion? Really, mother? Asterisk. I extended my hand towards him. It was an unexpected turn of events. Did it truly hold value? The intensity in his eyes, my ex-husband's eyes, radiated with a deep sense of betrayal. Was he an asterisk? Asterisk. Present day, asterisk asterisk. Robert gently pressed his forehead against mine, creating an intimate connection between us. We might consider making contact. Please make another attempt. I examined the man who had both shattered and transformed my very essence. The gentle creases around his eyes, a testament to our cherished weekends spent in secret at the lake. The mark on his collarbone, a reminder of our daring escapades in the kitchen. The way he gazed at me as if I were the very embodiment of the night sky, even when I felt like the antagonist in this tale. "No," I whispered, my fingers gently tracing the line of his jaw. Some flames blaze with an intensity that defies extinguishment. The doorbell chimed softly. Robert's brow furrowed in concern. "Are you anticipating a visitor?" I was not. As I swung the door open, I was met by the figure of my past, clad in a crumpled suit and clutching a bouquet of fading daisies, the very same he had presented to me on our inaugural date, a memory etched in time from 22 years ago. "Hello, Lisa." Asterisk. The smile of my former husband carried a hint of uncertainty. A moving van sat quietly at the curb, its engine humming softly in the background. Robert's presence hovered just behind me, an unspoken tempest. The tension in the air was palpable, evident in the way his fingers curled tightly into fists, a silent testament to his inner turmoil. One man embodied the life I had once cherished. The alternative, the path I had embraced. As the autumn leaves danced gracefully around us on the serene suburban street, a profound realization washed over me. This was merely a new beginning. It was a moment of reckoning. Dialogue bubble whom will Lisa ultimately decide to embrace in her heart's journey? Robert, a whirlwind of passion and scandal, embodies a love that ignites fiercely yet threatens to consume her entirely, asterisk. Her former partner, a sense of security, the power of forgiveness, an opportunity to restore her family, a note of hope. She decided to distance herself from both. Half a year after the flames consumed it all, asterisk. The atmosphere in the courtroom was thick with the scent of stale coffee and lingering regret. I smoothed the collar of my blouse, feeling its constriction mirror the tension in my life lately, as my lawyer slid a document across the table with a practiced ease. Full custody awarded to Thomas's father, she whispered softly. Asterisk was limited to supervised visitation only. Asterisk. My ex-husband sat across the aisle, deliberately avoiding my gaze. Next to him, our son, my precious little one, gazed at the wall as if I had already become a mere specter. What about Robert? Robert was absent. In a moment of reflection, I recall the night when everything unraveled. You were aware this outcome was inevitable. Asterisk, I had unleashed my fury upon him, sending the framed photo of Thomas's high school graduation crashing through the air. It splintered against the wall, narrowly missing Robert's head. You are so self-centered and impulsive. My heart is yours, now and always. Asterisk, his roar reverberated through the windows. Asterisk, was that meant to be a secret? Asterisk. Present day, asterisk. The judge's gavel struck with the force of a gunshot. The case has been dismissed. Asterisk. I stepped out of the courthouse, the rain pouring down in a relentless torrent, while the October wind tangled my hair as if to chastise me. That's when I caught sight of him, casually leaning against his truck in that alluring leather jacket, exuding a maturity that belied his mere 22 years. Lisa. Asterisk. Raindrops cascaded down his rugged jawline. I felt an irresistible urge to savor every last bit. I felt an overwhelming urge to confront him. This is not the place for you. Asterisk, my voice lacked any vibrancy. Robert stepped away from the truck, his boots creating a rhythmic splash in the puddles beneath him. Asterisk, I am thrilled to share that I have been accepted into firefighter training. Nestled in the heart of Colorado. Asterisk. A laugh erupted, tinged with hysteria, fractured and raw. Asterisk, is this truly the end? Asterisk. Join me on this journey. Asterisk, his hands cradled my face, rough thumbs blending the rain with my mascara. Asterisk, this town is truly disappointing. Let go of the past. Only the two of us embarking on a new beginning. Asterisk. I gently shut my eyes. Beheld Thomas's visage at the tender age of 8, adorned with the remnants of a popsicle sweetness. I witnessed the moment Robert smiled as he entered my world for the first time. Beheld the vacant wine bottles and solitary beds that await me in the days to come. As I unveiled my eyes, the decision became clear. 1 year later, Rocky Mountain sunrise unfolds anew. The piercing sound of the firehouse alarm echoes through the stillness of the night at 3 a.m. I turn in our temporary bed, observing Robert struggle to put on his gear with a lack of finesse. He halts at the threshold, as he always does, and gently places a kiss on the gentle curve of my pregnant belly. I love you both, he whispers, his voice soft and sincere. Outside the window, delicate snowflakes start their graceful descent, heralding the arrival of winter. In a distant corner of the east, a son could find it within himself to hold onto a grudge against his mother, a wound that may never fully heal. In the midst of this tumultuous new existence, the phone may remain silent, never delivering the heartfelt apology I yearn for. However, in this context, here, a flame flickers with passion. In this place, tranquility reigns supreme. Additionally, there is the ultimate conclusion, asterisk. Was this the right ending for a broken heart?